Good morning. This is Bill from out of Europa, Naples, and today I've got what feels like my own entrant into the World Rally Championship. This is a 2014 Ford Focus ST. The ST is very meaningful in this car. What it gives you is some pretty incredible performance options. This thing was designed to compete in the hot hatch category. It's a very competitive arena, and it does fantastically well. One of the reasons for that is 252 horsepower. That's 252 horsepower in this little thing, and 270 foot-pounds of torque. It's an absolute beast when you pull it down the road. Very cool to look at as well. It's finished in red, which is the correct color. It almost looks like, again, you took one of these WRC cars and painted it red over the top of the stickers, and all we need is some driving lights up front and some guy with a very Swedish name driving it. You can see the lowered air dam there in the bottom, the diffuser, the big pipes coming out the back, a huge roof spoiler at the rear with the air inlets. It's just a very well styled, very attractive car. Love those alloy wheels, beautiful to look at. And man, if I'd had this thing when I was 19 years old, well, yeah, I don't know. I did have a pretty fast car when I was 19, so I guess it probably would have worked out the same. But, maybe I'd have gotten in a little more trouble with this one. You can see the front end, very, very attractive, sort of a crate-looking, huge grill to pull in the air from the front. The fog's down low. I just love looking at this thing. It's just pretty sweet. All right, let's have a look in the hatch. I guess that's the key distinguishing feature of the hot hatch category. All right, now you can see you've got plenty of room back there for stuff. If you want to lower those seats forward, you can. I've got my bag of junk. Underneath this thing is a spare tire and some more storage. Very, very nice. Still got the partition. Those things sometimes go the way of who knows. And everything proper and as it should be back here in this 26,000 mile car. Have a look under the hood. Now, this is, of course, where the magic is in this thing. From the factory, 252 horsepower, 0 to 60 times in the 6 range, quarter mile times in the 14s. Again, very, very quick car, particularly for what it is. Now, they do sell chips out there and mods that you just plug right in, and it puts you up over 300 horsepower. So, kids, don't necessarily tell your parents that if they're looking at one of these for you. All right, now this does have keyless entry and ignition, so I can lock it with that guy there. I can open it the same way. It senses the key in my pocket. All very nice stuff. I also like that ST in the driver information center when you open the door. This has so much European Ford in it. In fact, it's probably all European Ford. The fit and finish is terrific. I read some long-term tests on these things. They hold together incredibly well. They feel just as new after, thousands and thousands of miles as they do when they were new. You can see a very nice gray and black two-tone look. It really keeps you bolstered in there. Nice hemp-like material. I don't know what you call that, but man, does it stick to you. Again, it's not super luxurious, but it is incredibly well finished and very durable. Like the ST entry skids there. All right, so inside again, continuing with the World Rally Championship, we have gauges everywhere. I particularly like the 3 up at the top of the dash. That's oil pressure, oil temp, and boost. We're going to fire it up, so foot on the clutch, tap the start-stop. Nice shifter. Have our e-brake on for a minute. Let's have a look around. Okay, there you see the ST screen coming up. Pretty cool driver information center. You see that little car there on the right? It does whatever the car does, and I could just sit there playing with that all day. Look at that. There's the door open. It's telling me the engine's on. When I turn on the lights, there's their parks. There's our proper lights. There's our fogs. High beams. It's just cool. I could play with that all day. Beautiful multifunction steering wheel, lovely little grippies at 10 and 2. Very nice to feel, sticks to your fingers. That is a performance steering wheel. Multifunction control, voice command, cruise control, volume control, so on and so forth. Very nice stuff there. Like the stalks, like the styling, they look great. Nice light control down there. And just all pretty cool stuff. Up top, we've got a power sunroof, nice option in the car. Let's see if we get that back somehow. There we go. Very, very proper. Let in some hot Florida air. There you see our gauges up top functioning. Of course, you go through a bunch of stuff with this, all your different whatever the hell it is, all the stuff you might want to have, your range, your fuel economy, so on and so forth. Over here, Ford Sync and dash unit for Bluetooth and radio and so on and so forth. All very Darth Vader-ish with the buttons. Nice stuff. This is for kids. They don't know how to use it. I presume that slot there is for CD. Here's our climate control going. Look at that. We've got sun. Oh, God, look. I've got to use my hand to shade it. Now, if I press this button here in front of the shifter, there you can see sport mode comes on. So what that does is changes the dynamics of the driving a little bit to give us more oomph, and we're going to leave it in that mode. It also puts that light on the bottom, which is traction control off. So if you want to get real tail happy, you can. This thing will torque steer, although it does have a very advanced system to compensate for torque steer, but it will not understeer. It'll throw the back end out before that happens. It's probably one of the best handling cars in its class. Been tuned, on the racetrack, and it turns in like just nothing else. What an absolute joy to track this car, or so I've been told. Oh God, also engine sound. Listen to that. It's like they're piping it inside. I'm gonna play chicken here with this truck up ahead. There's our torque steer. Didn't compensate too much that time. Of course, I have my hand off it. But, what can you do? 270 foot-pounds of torque. You're going to get torque steer in a front-drive car. Anyway, here it is. You just listen to this thing. The way it goes down the road is beautiful. It's essentially a new car. This thing was adult-owned, never beat up. So you got your chance to, beat the hell out of it yourself for the first time. Oh, God, I could do that all day. Anyway, you get the point. 2014 Ford Focus ST, 26,000 miles, great colors, mint. This thing's an absolute joy to drive. Go out there and, plow through some of those old GTIs. Give us a call, 239-649-7300. On the web at mercedesexpert.com. Always happy to talk to you about this or whatever else we have hanging around. Thanks very much for taking a look. We'll see you with the next one.